We're over budget. We don't have any time left. What could we possibly do for this? There's
Well,
nothing possible.
I think we have a solid at least 5 more parodies for the court saga. So,
I mean,
what if?
these things take a long time. I mean, you know how long like a court thing can last? It can last like months or years.
Exactly.
Right now.
Exactly. So what I'm thinking is, follow me here. What I'm thinking is, so Sonic has been sentenced to one defensive atoin, right? And so, what if
and he just did it? And he just did the first day.
Yeah. So what if So what if during the trial, the judge sentences atoin, it's like a light slap on the wrist, like, oh, just a day of community service, and then Sonic goes crazy and kills him because it's funny, and then they have to do a whole nother trial because Sonic killed the judge, and atoin is part of it because Sonic was atoin's lawyer. I think that could be funny. I think that could be.
I mean, it could work, but also, I mean, the thing about community service is that it's kind of hard to convey that. We gotta I have to download an image of a community service thing, and then I have to put them in it. That takes a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we can't just abruptly end the court arc.
No.
Because this has been kind of our chassis for season 2. Because we are in season 2 now, right?
Yes. According to atoin, we are. Yes.
Yeah. So we are in season 2, and this has kind of been the structure for the whole thing. If we just abandon this, everything's going to fall apart. We're not trying to do some small potatoes in the series here. We know we've got structure, we've got discipline, we know what's going on, and so
we can't just do this willy nilly. We need to make sure the higher ups are all cool with this.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that by introducing a second trial, you pick it up when I'm laying down. By introducing a second trial, we double the length of the court arc. Because
everyone loves the court arc so far. It seems like it's everyone's favorite part.
Yeah, everyone loves it. It's totally not,
the developing story as a universally acclaimed one. It got no comments. It was the first one we ever got. General B, our most loyal fan, General B, he didn't comment on it. I don't know.
And you know what that means?
They didn't comment on it.
That means that they're engaged. That means that they're watching. They can't take their eyes off the screen.
And their eyes are glued to that screen, watching for the next.
Yeah, because they commented on every single other one, but not this one because they.
Granted, they didn't comment on the first 3, but obviously, I mean, those were early installment weirdness that the show was finding its footing.
Yeah, that's different. That's the early season jitters. Everyone was.
Yeah, they just trying to get used to that.
We were building up our name. It was a rough time.
Yeah, making connections, all that jazz.
Forming those emotional bonds, and it's
introducing the characters. It's less story driven at that point.
Now I know the higher ups have been pushing for an Arthur 3, which I don't.
These things take time. Is the problem? Arthur 3,
I know.
There's a lot riding on it.
If we just rush out Arthur 3 in 2.2 seconds, it's not going to be good. And I don't want to do a disservice to the atoin parody community.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we just put out a cheap cash grab, it's not going to be timeless. People are going to see it, and then people are going to be like, oh, well, we can't talk about Arthur 3. They always talk about how you don't talk about Godfather 3. That one's bad. So, we want to have a good trilogy. If we want to have a trilogy, we want to do it right and make sure everything makes sense.
At the same time, though, if we just keep waiting and we keep building up that suspense, the Hollow Knight Silk Song situation where people have been waiting for so long that that hype has built up to unbearable levels and can never.
It's just boiled over at this point. Nobody even cares.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to find the right balance of taking our time to develop a good story, but also not letting it boil for so long that.
Yeah, I think at the pace we're working on it right now, I think it can easily be out in a fairly timely manner about what everyone expects, like right before the hype becomes too much. Like at its precipice, we can launch that out there, and then I think people will like it, assuming that the drafts like we did a few treatments, and we're liking what we have so far.
Now there've been quite a few calls asking for a return to form with Atoin content, a new We Happy Few video, and I've noticed that a lot of recent big companies, I mean we're no small potatoes ourselves, but so a lot of recent big companies have been doing these bringing back cameos of old characters and it's been doing
yes,
great.
Yeah, fan service, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking, what if sometime in the future we get Atoin to, we put him in the mines, get him to dig up a new We Happy Few music or song or something. This is.
I mean, to be honest, there's so many he already did. What we could easily do is he could just delete one of his old videos and then be like, oh, I missed this one. I didn't upload this one before. I mean, are people going to go check? Just pick the least viewed video on his channel. It's not like anyone's going to notice.
Yeah, and then people will be like, oh, the old Atoin's back, for one final ride. I mean, that's what we can call it. Atoin, one final ride.
Atoin, one final ride. Exactly.
I love the sound of it. Of course,
it's like going to be. Oh, it's perfect, and yeah, it can easily be like a like a sort of backdoor pilot for Atoin season 3. Is what I'm getting at? Like we subtly influence the audience so that they don't even know they want it, but then once we release it, they're like, oh my god, this court saga, it's exactly what I want.
Exactly, and I know you've also heard the rumblings in the community of wanting, an Arthur series. And even though I legally, I think that
how expensive it is to hire that guy. That guy cost us $150,000 for just that hour of filming. That was that wasn't even an hour. Like we had a 15-minute lunch break. He was maybe there for 45 minutes. He's too expensive. We can't afford that sort of thing unless they want us to fire everyone else. We can't just fire everyone else. We need Sonic's on board with this. He has a contract for 50 episodes. We gotta fulfill that legally. We have to.
Yeah, but even then, the hour he was here, he was just not very pleasant to work with.
Oh no, he's not. No, he's absolutely, the ego's gone to his head. I mean, 100 views is gonna do that to you. If you get 10 comments on the video, that's gonna hype you up and make you all big and pompous like he was. And yeah, he was not a great person to be around. But my hands are kind of tied here.
At the same time, though, we can't just go out and say that we're not making an Arthur spin-off series, because that would kill off a lot of hype for people who are mainly invested in the series for Arthur. So what I say, we introduce another case in the court line, and then we build up to Atoin one last ride. And then we ride that wave of hype to Arthur 3, sometime in the summer. That was announced in the trailer, right? And then after that, we can release our official statement saying that there won't be an Arthur spinoff. But by then, people will have already, they've gotten they got Arthur 3 right there to satiate them, and they're excited to see what Atoin will be up to next. I feel like that could work out pretty good for us.
It absolutely could, and even then, I hear ever since Arthur 2 came out, I've gotten a lot of emails from casting people saying that hey, I know a guy or I am a guy who can impersonate that guy quite well, and I've seen a couple interesting ones. I mean, need some makeup here or there, maybe a little hair, doing the hair a little bit. But I think if needed, we could easily maybe introduce some sort of plot arc. Maybe Arthur isn't the real Arthur. He was maybe identity theft, and we can hire somebody else. Because I found the people, and they have pretty good rates. They have rates less than Sonic, and Sonic is. I mean, we're only paying him 2 chili dogs and a Pizza Hut coupon for every time that he goes.
Hey! Don't mention the big P around here. That shit's still.
I'm not gonna stay silent about this.
No, we have to.
We have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. We have to say that we
can't afford these fees again. Come on, just this one time. We can talk about this again in the future. After Arthur 3, okay? After Arthur 3.
I don't like that they're always watching.
I know, but we could.
They have a big pizza-shaped camera, and it's in the bathroom, and I don't like it.
Listen. We can talk about this after our shift, okay? I promise. You know, we can hit the big donut, we can grab a few drinks, and we can talk about it. But right now, you know, yeah, you know. And
Yeah.
back to the topic at hand.
Yes.
For Arthur 3 in the Who Done It Arthur, let's just I'll call that the working title for now. We have to face the fact that we're gonna have to work with that guy again. So.
We're gonna have to get that guy. We need to refine his script. We need to get him in and out as quick as possible, not just for our sanities, but for our wallets as well. We just don't. We don't have the budget to handle even a week would put us in the red, and we're not in the red, and we're not in the green right now.
And you know what? I actually think we should do what we should take the Marvel approach, and we should see how much we can film with him alone on his own, you know, in a separate room, because you can merge that pretty well in editing.
I guess green screens are pretty good these days.
Yeah, they're quite good, and so I just think that we have a good outline for the future.
I just realized something. You mentioning the Marvel approach, and I obviously, of course, we do idolize Disney here. They are they're at the top of their game, and they're there for a reason. And I think
for better or for worse.
Yeah, for better or for worse, but generally for the better. But I'm thinking we have fans. We know there are people who are invested, and I think what we can do is, you know how there's the psychology of it, at the end of a theme park ride, that's where they put you off in the gift shop because emotions are high. You're more willing to spend money. You're more willing to invest in something that you know you just enjoyed, regardless of if it's actually worth the price. We can do, we can easily do Arthur 3, and that will obviously put us in a pretty good place for at least a little bit. And then what we do, launch, we could be if you like this, view the bonus material and fun future episodes at Atoin Plus. You know what I'm talking about? Atoin Plus?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, we don't even have to do anything. We just have to put the episodes on the streaming service and then just put in stupid extras. I mean, we don't even have to do anything. We can just give them I could probably sell the napkin that I used when we went to that steakhouse a few days ago, and I can include that as a bonus feature, and somebody's going to pay for it.
I totally agree. But what's our end goal here? Are we going to start out at $6 per month, then raise it to $8, then raise it to $10, and then put it back down to $8 for the ad tier, and then $14 for the ad-free tier?
Exactly. You need to have the illusion that you're getting a good deal by giving them a ludicrous deal. Then you give them a mediocre deal, and then because there's a horrible deal, the mediocre deal actually looks pretty good. I mean,
but are we going for that and trying to self-sustain, or are we going to keep it at $6 a month for a significant amount of time until inevitably, once our numbers are great, we could try to make some. We can either go for the long-term sustainable option, or we can kind of go for the quick cash option, which I honestly wouldn't mind, where we get bought out by a merger, get combined into, whatever, Discovery Plus or whatever.
Of course, but one thing you got to think about is that a streaming service, we've been doing these things daily, and it's working great, but the problem is then people can just buy a 1-week subscription or get a free trial or whatever. Or use an alternate account or whatever. They can just buy 1 month and then watch the whole series. We obviously can't. We need them to stay subscribed. We need them to stay as long as they can, and obviously we can't do that if we're doing them daily, because then that's just more content that they can. That's more content that they can get by just paying once. And
not to mention
we can just mention.
Not to mention the piracy is so rampant, and people already have these other accounts, and we'll probably get a portion of whatever they make off of streaming our shows as well if we get bought up by a merger. and probably negotiate for a percentage. And
I think it's pretty easy to make a statement saying, "Hey, we're moving to weekly. We're moving to weekly episodes," and we can easily spend a week and make like 2 months of episodes in a week. Like we can do that and we're all making money the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know how the audience would react to a weekly format.
I mean, it's the case of, this is something I was also getting at, is branching out. Is obviously if we delay what they were given, that's annoying, but we can easily fill the void. I know some people in comics. I know some people I have a deal with several live streaming platforms. We can get Atoin on. We can pay him. We're not paying him great, but we can pay him half of what we pay him now, and he can do some live streams. And
that's voting.
He doesn't even have to do much. We can use pre-recorded footage for the game. He just needs to respond to chat for 3 hours, and then that's enough content that's more content than people would be getting in a week anyways. So it's
that fucking pansy. He thinks he's at the top of the world. He thinks we're paying him so much. If he saw our check, his eyes would just pop out of his head.
I mean, yeah, that's why we got to make sure he doesn't listen in on anything that we say. That's why I barred the door. I got that.
Yeah.
You locked the second door, right?
Yeah, I locked the second door, and even if I didn't, they would keep him. They would make sure that he didn't hear us.
Yes, we have, protection. We're smart.
Yeah, that's. Protected is one way to put it. Big P.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, but there's one thing about Atoin that we got to think about is we just got to make sure that we got to keep him feeling like he's doing a great job, and there is going to be a point where he might eventually realize that he's not getting paid as much as he could be, and obviously we don't want that. Obviously, the whole reason we keep him around is because he's cheap. So we gotta make him feel important. We gotta if we get him in a streaming booth with expensive materials, we can bot some chat messages to say that like Atoin, you're the best, maybe.
That too, but also I feel like alternate route, LSD. We just get him hooked.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, yeah, and we have a guy we have connections like that, right? We do.
Yeah, and
I know you had your whole thing with that other stuff, and like I know.
Yeah, the strip club proprietor guy. Yeah.
That guy. Okay, that guy. You have still ties with that guy. That's good.
Oh yeah, big bar.
I think I have some. I think I could probably get LSD. I don't have any connections with LSD, but I'm sure you do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean that stuff's pretty addictive. I mean, we could probably get him hooked with like a pretty low stash, right?
Yeah, no, we could just slip it into his morning, protein bar. Then we can do low doses.
Oh yes, can you invest in those little LSD tablets that look like peanuts? Because he has those little peanut bars, and that's gonna fool him.
Yeah. And
eventually, he's gonna get so crazy for him, it doesn't matter what shape it is. We only need the special kind for like the first week.
No. But you know what that is? He starts getting disillusioned with his job. He's like, oh, I kind of want to be paid more. Oh, I'm not as happy doing this as I used to. But hear me out. We get him hooked on the peanut LSD bars. Suddenly, whenever he comes to work, he's feeling great. Whenever he comes to work, he's energized. Whenever he comes to work, he's happy. When he comes home, when he takes breaks, no peanut LSD bar, but he doesn't know that. All he knows is that he feels like shit. That he feels sick.
Absolutely.
And that he
create a positive influence, a positive association with the work. Yeah. With the work. Eventually, he'll just be a volunteer.
Exactly.
He'll just be a volunteer. We don't even have to. His salary is basically those bars, and you can get those in bulk for a quarter of the price that we're paying him. Those are like you get a month's worth of those.
Especially buying from
paying by the hour.
Yeah, especially buying at wholesale price, definitely.
Absolutely, because he gets kind of tired, and he gets kind of like tuckered out after about 9 hours of working. There's still at least 2 more hours of the day where we have all the studio stuff on. Like he could be working. That's 2 hours a day, and that could easily be 10 more hours of work a week. If that stuff keeps him awake, then that's more work for a quarter of the price, and he's feeling great. He doesn't even know.
Definitely. Let's recap. Okay, so double up the court episodes, lead up into Arthur 3. No, lead up into Atoin. What was it? Atoin is Bacadon or something?
The last ride or whatever it was called?
Yeah. Atoin, the last ride. Lead that into Arthur 3. Use that to spin off Whodunit Arthur show if we can get him on board for a relatively cheap price, hopefully.
Yeah, and we can have that be like an exclusive on Atoin Plus.
Yeah, which we will cultivate to either become sustainable or merge, and then get Atoin hooked on LSD. I feel like that covers all the bases.
I think that's about everything that we need for at least the next few fiscal years. Like, that's pretty foolproof, I think. People will pay for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll pay for it, all right. Have you seen what people
they'll pay for it, yeah.
They'll pay for it.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you at the Big Donut later. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure they get the right batch of chocolate. You know, I like my chocolate milk like extra thick, you know?
Oh, yeah. Creamy and foamy. Got it.
Exactly. Okay.
All right. See you later, man.
I consider this a good work day. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See ya.